Hey guys, it's Leesh, and welcome to another episode of Car Confessions. Guys, you have no idea. I've been trying to record this for the longest. I'm stuck in traffic, and it's insane. It was stopping recording, starting, so I'm hoping it's going to go through. If not, you guys are going to get like a piecemeal Car Confessions this week. Car Confessions with Leash. What the hell is going on with this recording? That'll be the title. Perfect. Hopefully that won't be, but if in the event that it is, you'll get the backstory. So how are you guys doing? What's going on in your world? How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. I'm stuck in traffic. Like I said, it is crazy, and I keep forgetting that the traffic really starts around this time of day. On the Parkway. I'm on Henry Hudson Parkway if you're in New York City, on the west side in Manhattan. And it is redunk. I'm over it. Like, I think I'm over it, one, because I'm not used to being in traffic when I leave, like work or, different places during the week. And then two, because I've been having to stop and start and stop and start with this Car Confessions. But, I digress. Yeah. By the time you hear this, I'm pretty sure you already know this news, but I just have to speak on it because I'm just like, what the heck is going on? Now, mind you, I just heard like the surface level information. I don't know all the meat of it, but I'm still going to talk about it because I'm just like, what is happening in this country? So Trump has extended implementing the tariffs for 90 days, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? And not when I say we, I don't really mean we, right? What is he doing? What is happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, either you're going to be this big badass dude, right? That's going to put the hammer down, let the chips fall where they may, make a decision and keep it pushing, or actually listen to people, collaborate, and find out what works best for the collective. You know what I'm saying? Or you can do what you're doing right now, which is, blowing a bunch of smoke up people's asses, and then, you know, going, back on your word because you're nervous and scared because of whatever, right? Because that has to be what it is. Something has happened, particularly, I think, what's happened is people are realizing stuff like their 401ks, the stock market, like everything is just like a hot mess. And I'm pretty sure someone was like, look, dude, or maybe he realized, either way, I'm in my mind, I'm like, someone was like, look, you need to get your shit together because people are going to retaliate in ways that are out of control. Your actual camp, in terms of MAGA, um, may dwindle even more than they have before, than it has, since everything has happened. It would probably be in your best interest to, 86 this whole tariff thing. And in my mind, I could see him like pondering, thinking this through. I'm like, oh, let's just extend it, right? Because maybe the hope is, I don't know. Like I said, I just got the surface level information, but maybe the hope is by 90 days we'll have forgotten about it and they'll just kind of like slide it in. And we're like, why the fuck, you know, are these eggs now $50 a dozen, right? Or whatever, right? It might not even be the eggs. It might be something completely different. But you know what I'm saying, right? So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this change of, him changing his mind about this. I don't know why this happened. But on a global level, like the world stage, we look crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like America looks insane. At least I think we do. I'm pretty sure people, around the world are like, what is happening over there, right? It's like romper room at its worst. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is insanity. That we're just back and forth, back and forth. People on pins and needles. Is this actually going to happen? Then you're like, it's not happening? Okay, so, but we have to, wait 90 days to see if it may happen. Like, what? Ridiculous. Same thing with stuff like TikTok and all that kind of stuff. It's like, every time you turn around, there's something that's gonna there's something that people are saying, or we're hearing that, oh, TikTok is going to be shut down, this, that, and the other. Lord, here we go. Total side note, guys. There are these cars. Sometimes I question if they're really cops. So they're like almost incognito. Oh, here's another one. Maybe this is really legit. Either way, it is annoying. It's like out of nowhere, these people just start with their sirens, and they look like regular cars. Here comes another one. I don't think these are actual cop cars. I think these are actual people who have these lights that present like a cop. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I just feel like it's not true. And then even okay, let's say they are real cop cars, right? Where the hell are you going? There's no emergency. You just don't want to be in this traffic, and you're causing more traffic by doing this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so annoying. Anyway, back to the tariffs. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know what is, what's going to come of this. I don't know how much more are going to deal with this, right? This is not leadership. This is just a bunch of immature men making decisions based on what they think would be beneficial, but have no one's researched this, no one has consulted properly. They're just literally, it's like that throwing spaghetti at the wall type of shit and seeing what sticks, right? These aren't the times to be throwing spaghetti at the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are out here hurting. People need relief. And you're just out here, oh, yeah, I'm going to throw some tariffs on. Oh, yeah, actually, you know what? Let's give it 90 days and see what happens. Like, people need security. People need stability, right? Particularly, in situations like this where we're just like, everything's so unknown. Like, will we be able to, live comfortably at some point in this life, because I feel like a lot of us are just living paycheck to paycheck. We're living to pay our bills, and that's really it. Like, this is not living. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is surviving. I want to thrive. And I think more people need to be in that mindset of like, I want to thrive. I want to live well. I want to enjoy this life. I want to go on vacations, plural. I want to get my manicures. I want to get a facial when I want to get a facial. I want to go to the spa, like whatever, right? I want to live well. What is wrong with living well on all levels, right? Mentally, physically, financially, socially, all the things, right? I want to live well. But the way this country is set up right now, and has been set up, let's be serious, people that are just everyday people, the likelihood of them really living well is slim to none because of the situation that we're in. And because of the people that have implemented all this craziness and that we are, just having to kind of like live through it. It's wild to me that this is where we are at this point in time. Because I would think, okay, 2025, I would think, it would be, we would be in a position where we would not have to worry about things like racism, not see capitalism at its ugliest, right? I would think we would have evolved in such a way where everyone is able to thrive, everyone is able to live well and not constantly be in a state of panic because of the financial uncertainty. I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like a lot of people are waking up to that and just saying, you know what? I'm working all these hours. I spend all this time at wherever, particularly if you have a job where you have to be in an office or be somewhere for X amount of time, 8+ hours, whatever it is. I spend all this time, and if if it's not your business, like you're working for someone else, it's like I spend all this time, I'm doing all this work for another person's dream, all to then be put in a situation where that money that I make, I can't even really enjoy it because I have to be responsible and pay my bills. I gotta buy groceries. I gotta do the essentials, and by the time the essentials are all taken care of, I might have two nickels to rub together. That's not living. That's not living. And I feel like extending this tariff thing is just keeping the like almost like the dark cloud over everyone. It's like when is it going to really like downpour, right? It's just like it's just hanging over us. Like there's the tariffs. Eventually, all that's going to come into play. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I mean, at some point, too, I think there was a realization that if these tariffs really go into action, a lot of these people who are really wealthy are also going to come for him. I think that was something he had to think about as well, because it's not just so much that the consumer is going to be affected by the tariffs, it's also people in business that own businesses and that are selling goods and this, that, and the other. They'll be affected for sure. And, you're talking about people like Jeff Bezos, God bless Elonia Musk, and people like that. I know that this is not something that sits well with them either. So, definitely could be that too, where they're like talking to Trump, is like, listen, actually, this is not going to work, sir. So you need to figure this out, like pronto. And it could be, along with that, thinking about this, because they said that, and Trump's ego is what it is. He extended it 90 days, but then hopefully somehow it just kind of like dissolves and they don't even implement it at all. And we forget about it too, right? It could be either one, where they just sneakily put it in there, or they just hope we'll forget about it and they won't implement it at all. Who knows? Who freaking knows? But what I do know is that, like, even though, like, it presents like I'm like annoyed by this. I mean, and I am. Like, I don't want to pretend like I'm not. Also, and at the same time, it's like I don't even give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like whatever is going to be is going to be. Of course, fight the good fight when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I feel like, to an extent, me getting myself up in arms and losing my shit completely is not going to be beneficial for me. I mean, because me getting, raising my blood pressure on something that may be implemented, may not be. I can't do that anymore. Once it happens, or once we're in a position where we can dismantle it, take it down, fine. But if it's just constantly back and forth, and it seems like they're just playing games, guess what? I'm not here to play games, especially these types of games, because these games are ridiculous. They're not benefiting really anybody. Like, what are we doing? I just can't get myself too crazy and worked up over it. I want to stay informed and, definitely try to understand and take in as much information as I can. But I'm not going to raise my blood pressure over this stuff. I'm just not doing it anymore. So I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, when COVID happened, I sat in front of that TV, or when we were going through all of the, COVID and everything, I sat in front of that TV day long. And yes, I worked COVID. So I had on my monitor at work in my office, one screen it was either CNN or MSNBC, or it was one of those major news networks on one screen, and then all my work on the other. And I was just sitting there just listening, basically all day long. And I go home, same thing. And then I realized, I was like, I'm living in this state of like chaos and confusion and fear and like all that. I can't do that. I've got to break free from constantly consuming this information. It's too much. And it was just creating so much anxiety for me. And so now it's like I am in and out. I get the gist of information and then I peace out. Because it's like I cannot just consume all of this stuff. And a lot of it's programming. It's not even like real news. It's entertainment that is programming people to believe a certain narrative. Because that's nothing too, I realized after this whole COVID thing was like, oh my gosh, it doesn't matter which party it is. You know what I'm saying? They're programming their constituents and their followers and whoever, people who are, voting either Democrat, Republican, they're programming them with the information they want you to know. The stuff that they don't want you to know, they'll never talk about that shit. They'll never. That's not even up for grabs. So for me, I'm just like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to sit here and argue back and forth with people about, what I feel is whatever. I'm just going to take the information and make sure that, of course, make sure there's factual stuff that I'm hearing. And if it's something that if there's something I can do to help the situation, great. If it's not, then I just, let it go. To let it go. Because it's just too much after a while. You know what I'm saying? It's way too much. But all that to say, pray that all this stuff, in terms of the tariffs, in terms of Americans being in this position where we are so overwhelmed, I pray that a lot of that starts dissipating, because it's how much can people take before they completely break, you know? And I'm wondering if that is a part of the plan too, to see how much people are willing to deal with before people lose it. And then, you know, I don't know. I don't want to say anything crazy, but I just wonder, like, how much more do people feel like we can take? And how are you as a human being okay with implementing this type of inhumane stances on how we are living? Like, how are you sleeping at night? Even down to the landlords and stuff. Like, it's just crazy that this is how we as humans operate. It's like there has to be a better way. There has to be, you know? And I'm praying that or just somehow, we as a collective realize that, like, we all deserve to live well, to have good things, you know, and it's not taken away from anybody, you know. It's just, I know a lot of it is scarcity based, and we're not going to get anywhere if we're constantly in this state of, like, taking from, people, and not giving back, and not showing compassion to people who are struggling, and not giving people breaks, showing that grace. It's important. It's so important. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just hoping for the best, as always. I know you'll probably think, oh, Leesh, she goes from here to there, but, like, I mean it. It's like, you get frustrated, but then at the same time, it's like, and I want to believe that something good will come out of all of this. I just have to. I have to have hope, because without hope, what is there? You know. So I'm hopeful that something good will happen. I'm hopeful that we will all live to see it, and if not, someone in our circle will. But yeah, it's just one thing after the other in this country. Like I always say, we're just going to keep on keeping on, do the best we can, and show as much compassion as you can, because this is a lot. I mean, a whole lot, right? But yeah, home, guys. I'm going to head upstairs here. I hope you're doing well, and we'll get through all this. We will get through all this, but it is good to talk it out, get your frustrations out, and then just know, hey, got to get up and keep moving, do my best, and that's it. All right, guys, I love you. And I've already said it, but we'll just keep on keeping on. And I'll see you next week.